The word actor brings to mind stardom, seduction, fame, and fortune. Also, living on pennies, dreams, and on other people's couches. The craft is a mindset, one that can change the way you see yourself and the world around you. There's no better way to discover yourself than to first try on somebody else. It isn't Hollywood. It's not Broadway. This is Riddlesbrood. So welcome to the Acting Out podcast. And now your host, Clyde P. Riddlesbrood.
Thank you for tuning in to the Acting Out podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Clyde P. Riddlesbrood. And I'm also here with Todd Parker, our outbound sales rep, and we have some exciting and very interesting information to share with you guys today, especially if you're new to the industry and you're maybe have a restaurant or a hotel or a country club or any kind of venue out there, and you're looking to get some magnificent entertainment into your establishment. Well, we're going to give you some information today that's going to knock your socks off. Am I right, Todd?
You are absolutely right. Good afternoon, folks. Pleasure to be here today. Yeah, Riddlesbrood Touring Theater Company is really growing by leaps and bounds, and we're going to be very excited today to be talking about our premier destination trip initiative, which is really taken off quite well.
That's right. As a matter of fact, if any of you have heard the previous episode where we talked about going to Las Vegas, well, we've already completed that trip, and it was a really an unbelievable success. It was a lot of fun. All the actors that went along with us had a great time. We did murder mysteries at several different casinos and a restaurant. And yeah, I mean, it was really quite a fun experience. I mean, anybody that's an actor, you know, getting a chance to actually say, well, I just got done my gig in Las Vegas, you know, that's a pretty amazing little thing to be able to pin on your chest, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely. And the one thing that I loved about it was how much the venues really embraced what we were doing. Two of the venues that we were at, the Downtown Grand Casino and Ellis Island Casino, they both had custom menus and custom food offerings and custom drinks that really went along really great with the themes that we were doing. So they had so much fun doing it as well.
Well, they put a lot of thought into it. I even remember seeing on some of the tables when we were getting ready to perform, they had like special little menus that they had custom printed just for the event, where it had like meals that had something to do with the murder mystery. Because we had done a Sherlock Holmes murder mystery. We also did a 1920s Roaring 20s theater kind of show, and that was a lot of fun too. And we even had a lot of people that came to the event dressed up.
Absolutely. They encouraged people to dress up and come in costume, and I think everybody really embraced that.
Yeah, I tell you what, it worked so flawlessly. And when you think about it from the point of view of that, we're based in New Jersey, and you know, we all flew out from Philly into the airport in Las Vegas and got in there and got our gear in and got all of our costumes in and all the things that we need, and moved from different place to different place. It was actually so much easier than I thought it was going to be. And then when we got to the establishments, they already had a lot of things, you know, already figured out for us. They had a place for us to change. But not only that, we got a chance to walk around all the rooms and see how they set up everything. So we knew that the crowd was going to be in for a real treat when we got everything ready.
Absolutely. And the one thing that I really loved about especially performing at the Downtown Grand was, and that was one of our last nights that we were there, they made it sort of a special offering to a lot of their VIP customers. And everybody there just really had such a good time, and they really appreciated something that may not necessarily have been available to them otherwise.
Oh, you're right. Actually, that I forgot about that. I think at least two of the audiences that we had were all the high rollers that were VIPs, and because they had spent a certain amount of money, they all got a free show and dinner, and that was a lot of fun. It also gave us a lot of good material to do some jokes with, and yeah, that was just a great fit for them because they were so appreciative and grateful to have that free dinner and some entertainment. They felt like they really walked away with a nice surprise.
Absolutely, and everybody just they really got into it. And I think there was even a couple of people who came up afterwards and thanked us for such a great show. And that's really all we need is just to know that the show was successful and people enjoyed themselves. I mean that really makes our job so much easier. Well,
as our first test case, I think it went smashingly well. And honestly, some of the places already said, hey, when are you guys going to be coming back out here? And I think some of them, we're coming back out, well, what is it, March or something like that?
Yeah, a couple of the venues have asked us to come back in March as well.
So, after the experience, we kind of tested it. We tested the wheels on this cart, and it really turned out even better than we had expected. And that's why we kind of framed this new service. We're calling it the Premier Destinations. And pretty soon, at the end of August, we're actually going away to Florida. And we're going to be in several different cities there and at several different resorts and different hotels. So why don't you tell us a little bit about our upcoming Florida trip, Todd?
That's correct, yeah. Actually, it's 30 days exactly from today. We will be flying into Tampa, and we're going to be performing 2 nights in Clearwater, Florida, at the Carroll Hotel in Clearwater. And then from there, we're going to be dropping down to Sarasota, Florida, and performing at the Art Ovation Hotel in Sarasota, and then working our way down to Miami. We're going to be performing at 2 different Marriotts in Miami, the JW Marriott Miami and the Miami Dadeland Marriott. We're doing 2 or 3 shows with them, and then finishing our tour in Jacksonville, Florida, at Kickback's Gastropub.
Well, that's amazing. And I know you mentioned Marriott a couple of times. I mean, they have been really easy to work with. And it seems like, we've been really working together very well with these guys. And, that's really nice to know. And I think even after August, we're actually going to, New Orleans in November?
That's correct, yeah. Currently, we are going to be performing in Mississippi, just outside of Memphis, the beginning of the second week of November. There's a property down there, which is also a Marriott property called the Cotton House, and they start Christmas festivities very early. They have what they call the 50 Nights of Lights, which actually kicks off right around the time that we're going to be there. So they said to us, "Hey, do you guys have any kind of a Christmas themed murder mystery show?" I said, "As a matter of fact, we do. It's called Who Killed Marley, and it's a murder mystery show centered around the traditional Christmas Carol theme." And they said, "Oh, we would absolutely love to have you guys do a couple of shows of that. And by the way, can you do a third show? Can you do a Sherlock Holmes theme?" I said, "Absolutely, we would love to."
Well, you know what I think it seems to some of the responses that we've been getting is that people really like the fact that they may have a very unique venue, with its own style, its own kind of like architecture, its own theme, and we can really create sometimes some themes and custom shows that actually work right along with what they're doing. So whether it's a smaller bed and breakfast where we're doing the show in a few different rooms, or if it's in a larger banquet space with a more modern kind of a motif to it, we can really come up with something that fits exactly what they're trying to sell, and really come up with something that fits perfect when their venue there.
For sure. And the one thing that I love, especially dealing with people in marketing, all the marketing folks that we've worked with at all these various properties, they're so enthusiastic and they're so appreciative, and they're so creative. And I love seeing, they'll say to me, "Hey, do you have any promotional material or logos or anything, artwork that you can send us?" And then, we send it to them, and what they do with it and the way that they make it just capture that wow factor. It's really impressive, the talent behind that team.
Well, it takes a lot to to get people into seats these days. They got to really know a lot about social media. They got to know about, how to do things like this podcast that we're doing today. They got to try to use all kinds of ways to get people to fill that venue, and they do a great job. I mean, I think almost every single one of the shows we did had a sold-out audience, which makes a huge, huge difference. And plenty of times at the end of the show, everybody would want to come and take pictures with all the actors and the costumes, and everybody really enjoyed that. I can't really wait to get down to Florida again. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And some of the venues that we had previewed when we went down there earlier in the year for some sales meetings, some of these places are unbelievable. Like the Carroll Hotel. I mean, that place was top notch.
Absolutely, yeah. Their rooftop bar and restaurant. We had the great opportunity of going down there a few months ago, and we met with some members of the team. And actually, the shows that we're doing there, it's in a Mediterranean restaurant. The thing that I love about, especially within the Marriott brand, there are so many different opportunities for originality, especially within the autograph collection of the Marriott brand. So each venue has sort of their own flair, their own unique personality, if you will, and we're really able to sort of expand on that and make it and contribute and make it really something amazing for them.
Well, let me ask you a question, Todd. I know since you're the guy, on the end of the phone and you're the one talking to these clients mostly. Let me ask you this, like if any of our listeners tonight are listening to this or they're out there and they might have their own venue and they're thinking, you know what, I don't know, I would love to have something like this and I think it'd be great for our guests, but, I'm not sure how affordable it might be. I know that there's some little tricks and things that you could probably tell us about, like I think, if they're a hotel, if they give us the actors a comp room, I think we can give them a discount, right?
Absolutely, and that's one thing we love working with venues, and there are so many opportunities. It's definitely not a product in a box. It's definitely not a one size fits all. I mean, we're willing to work with them on how many shows, what types of shows. As a matter of fact, in addition to some of the shows down there, some of the venues have actually asked us to do what we call a character walk around. So we'll be in the lobby prior to the show, walking around dressed up as characters from the show and just saying, hey, folks, come on in. The show's going to be starting in an hour. And that's really something extra that you don't necessarily get a lot of the times as well.
Well, I know it can be very helpful, especially if they're like in a place that has a lot of walk around traffic. Mm-hmm. If they have a lot of walk around traffic outside, the actors walk outside and we can say, hey, come on in, guys, if you're bored. There's we do this on the boardwalk every once in a while. You get people walking by, they don't know what they're doing. They're maybe they're just looking for something fun to do, and they'll come in last minute and fill in a couple empty chairs. Can really help fill in that room, especially if you have any last minute tables that are still open. You might as well bring in that extra little bit of money. So we definitely try to help with that. Now, actually, some of the places that you were looking wasn't just New Orleans. Wasn't one of them in Mississippi, like nearby?
Correct. Yeah, Mississippi is the Cotton House Marriott in Mississippi. That's where we're doing the 3 shows. The beginning of the second week of November. I believe it's November 8, 9, and 10. And then we are planning to end the trip in New Orleans. We have a couple of properties we should be hearing back from this week to lock in for the end of that trip. And then as a matter of fact, I have a couple of calls scheduled in about 3 weeks with some properties in Houston, Texas, who have expressed a very strong interest in us coming down in February.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We're going to be booking so many shows, we're probably going to have to see if we can get some more actors, right?
I think so.
I tell you what, if anybody listening right now is actually a young and aspiring actor or actress and you're looking to get into it, I mean, I tell you what, doing like a murder mystery troupe like Riddlesbrood Touring Theater Company is a great way, to get your feet wet. If you're used to doing community theater shows or even some murder mysteries local, we're always looking for great talent so we can, go do some of these longer traveling trips where we fly out to an incredible destination and try to impress the crowd with our comic skills. So if you're out there and you're an actor or an actress and you're thinking about, boy, I would love the opportunity to go to Vegas or Sarasota or New Orleans or any of these places, make sure to take a look at our website because we have auditions happening usually several times a year.
Absolutely. And the great thing about the shows that we do, it's there is obviously a scripted element behind it, but you've got to love improv and you've got to love spontaneity because you just got to be able to have fun with it. This is not a traditional memorized lines. I mean, there's a component of that, but really it's a fun experience. You get to interact with the crowd much more than you would on a stage. It's really sort of personal and up close.
There's one other thing I just thought of while you were talking, and that is the thing about hotels, which is really nice, is the people do not have to leave the building in order to have a nice night out. So, I know, this day and when you're traveling around or going somewhere, the last thing you feel like doing after a long drive or a flight or something like that is you don't want to get back in the car and drive somewhere, especially if you're unfamiliar with the streets and the roads. And what's really nice about the hotel is that we're right on their property, so you don't have to leave. So if you already have a night at the hotel, you can just come downstairs and see a show and have a nice dinner and have a nice night out, and you don't even have to deal with any of that hassle.
Absolutely. And even if you're a local to the area, You may not have any other reason to go into the hotel. Maybe you want to just you live down the street and you like to just come in and see a show and have a nice dinner. I mean, you could be a 5-minute walk away, but even so, it's a venue that is accessible to everybody.
And not only that, a lot of times what I hear, sometimes even like a year after we did an event, somebody would say, you know what? When we did that murder mystery there, we had some locals come in and, with nothing better to do, and they saw the show. They had a great time. And you know what? They called me back like 6 months later, and they had a wedding here.
Exactly.
Or some of them might, be the boss of a company, or maybe like a high-ranking person. They winded up doing their company party there or their fundraiser. So sometimes doing these really fun, energetic, comic murder mystery shows bring in a type of demographic that maybe would have normally not known you even were there. And then once they get there and they see how beautiful the facility is and see how great the staff is, they're going to want to come back again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a win. It really is a win-win for everybody. I mean, the crowd gets a great show. The venue gets a great crowd, and we get we get to perform for people that really love to see and appreciate comedy and spontaneity and mystery, and it's really just something for everybody.
Yeah. Well, again, it's been a lot of fun, and I can't believe we got off to such a great start. But I know, we're not ending here. I think, next year we're planning to do what, like 8 or 9 of these different trips next year.
We're gonna be all over the place. We're getting interest and invitations from a number of different properties all across the country. So and we're always available. So happy to have a conversation with anybody who'd like to speak with us.
And I think, I don't know if you had a chance to reach out to Elon Musk, but I think he has that rocket going. Mm-hmm. Maybe we could do one of these shows on Mars coming up.
For sure. Absolutely.
Well, anyway, it's a lot of fun. It's very, very exciting. And we could not have done it without you, Todd. You've been an amazing asset to the company. I tell you what, we're very, very excited. And now let me ask you a question. Like, you said you have been actually to New Orleans before, right?
Yes, correct.
But it wasn't in the fall when we're going. It was more like what, during the spring?
No, it was the beginning of February. Yeah. So I was actually there with my wife maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And Mardi Gras is really early this year. This year is the February 8th or 9th. Normally it's later on in the month. So my wife and I made a decision that we were going to go at the beginning of February, knowing that we had 2 weeks before Mardi Gras. But apparently Mardi Gras is the entire month of February. So anybody who loves parades and loud noise, go in February. If you don't, February might not be the time of month for you to go.
Well, what about November? Because we're going to be out there, the second week of November. Is there any, I know you said something about the Festival of Lights or the March of Lights or something?
Well, that's in Mississippi.
That's in Mississippi. Okay.
That's the 15. So where we're going to be in Mississippi is about 325 miles from New Orleans.
Okay,
so,
okay.
But that'll be another whole experience, and it's because then we'll be catching and sort of piggybacking on the Memphis crowd.
Well, see, the reason I brought it up is because I figured, if you're out there and you already know that there's going to be some big local events happening around your venue, that can be a great time to do an event like this, because people are probably going to be traveling into that area that normally might not go. And of course, what are they going to do? They're not going to want to go see a movie. They're going to want to do something unique and special. And that's why doing an event, like a murder mystery or a dinner theater show could be a great way to kind of create a magnet to pull in some people into your venue.
And, speaking of holidays and certain times of year, we've already talked about our murder mystery version of A Christmas Carol. As a matter of fact, we just finished a show 2 nights ago, which was an Oktoberfest themed show. It was especially requested. So we basically had Oktoberfest in July, but we've done a Mardi Gras themed shows, masquerades. We did a few months back. We did an Easter Bunny themed.
We got pirates. We got medieval. We got all kinds of 50s.
Yeah, we've got
we have a great 80s show that actually is a lot of fun. So we have so many different themes. So if you're a venue out there and you're like, boy, we'd really love to have something exciting and unique and new to bring in the crowd, make sure to give us a call. We'd love to work out something for you guys. Now, after this, next year, I mean, do we have any like long range plans? Like, I mean, what might be happening next year that could be exciting to think about?
Well, we're actually, in addition to doing the murder mystery shows, we also do a number of different festivals. We do a Christmas Carol related themed festival, and then we also do a number of other children's related themes festivals. But in addition to that, we also have other themes. So we have a big pirate theme festival that could be a 2 or 3 day event that we can basically bring it to you, and it's got kids rides and events, and so it's entertainment, it's interactivity, it's great for parents, great for kids, and so that's another offering that we have also.
Well, I know that the place that seems to work really good, I mean, we've done a lot of work with country clubs over the years, and one of the things that they always say is like, hey, we got all these members, we got these places, they want to come here, they're going to golf, but we need to add value. We need to make sure that they feel that being a member of our club really is worth it. And one of the things that we do is these summer pirate things. So we set up a whole pirate zone right in the yard. So while dad's out there golfing or mom's out there, relaxing by the pool, the kids have a place to go where they can be watched, but also they can have a lot of fun. We have like a foam machine that we shoot around. There's like a pirate show. We even have sometimes we have a pirate magician. So it's a lot of fun. We're out there for pretty much the whole afternoon. So the kids have a lot of fun and the parents can enjoy their day without having to worry about that.
For sure. Yeah. It's a great event for pretty much anybody from age 5 to 75.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I mean, not to segue into this too much, but the same thing we also do in Halloween. We do like Halloween haunts, where this is another popular thing where somebody, they have in their community, they want to get all the people to come over to their location. Well, we come out and we can set up an entire haunt for an afternoon. So they have a haunted trail. They go around and they see different spooky little scenes. And it's a lot of fun. It's family friendly. So it's nothing crazy, gory, nothing like that. But again, these are things that we can do at a different country club and we can come to you.
Yeah. And that's the greatest thing at all, because you have a contained audience, and we basically bring the entertainment right to your doorstep.
Yeah. And you know what? I just want to take a moment to segue back again to the entertainment industry and entertainers. So, if you're listening and you're hearing this kind of stuff, it could sound like, wow, look at all this crazy stuff they're doing. When I've gone around to my community theater, they do one show every 6 months and that's about it. Well, you know what? If you are a young gun and you're really ready to try to, put your feet in the water and see how it goes, being involved in a touring company like this is a great experience, because not only are you going to do a lot of shows in your local area, but you could get a chance to travel around the country and do shows in, extremely important destinations like again, Las Vegas. I mean, what did you notice from the actors that we brought with us when we went to Las Vegas? Do you think they had a good time?
Absolutely. I think everybody just really embraced the opportunity to be in a city that that was outside of their daily norm, and one of the things that we pride ourselves on, no matter what venue we go to. I mean, there's always great things. You're going to find great food. You're going to find great venues. You're just going to find a great city, great atmosphere. I mean, there's really no downside at all.
And honestly, I had never been to Fremont Street, and I probably would not have gone there, but for the fact that we were on the show.
Right.
So it's a great opportunity. Like, you get to see places that, probably you wouldn't have had the money to say, hey, let's splurge and go to, Fremont Street in Las Vegas. But you know what? If you're there for the show, in between the performances, there's plenty of time for the actors to walk around, see the sights. I think when we were there, we went to the Sphere.
Yes.
And we treated everybody for fun. We treated everybody to the Wizard of Oz show they had, which was amazing. I mean, that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna find amazing stuff like that pretty much every city, because every city has its own personality and its own special offerings. I can't wait to just sort of immerse myself and say, hey, we come back from that trip. Wow, what an amazing city! I didn't even know this.
Yeah, yeah, and the wonderful thing is too is like, the more we do, the more people are going to ask us to come back. And, next year we already have multiple trips already scheduled. It's very exciting because, Riddlesbrood Touring Theater Company, we're in our 26th year. Next year will be our 27th. And, mostly we just did South Jersey, maybe New Jersey, a little bit of Eastern Pennsylvania. And in later years, we expanded to Delaware, New York, and around that area. But now with this, we actually get to bring all the things that we've learned in this exciting area here, and we're going to bring it all around the country.
Yes.
Show everybody the jokes, show everybody the crazy costumes, all the fun, and we're going to bring it around and share the wealth.
Absolutely. And what a great opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah. So anyway, to close everything out here, folks, if you are, once again, a venue or a presenter, restaurant, bank facility, any of these kind of things, and you're thinking about, hey, I would love to have something like this for our guests. Take a look at our website. We have a new page. It's called Riddlesbrood Premier Destinations. Type it into Google. You'll find it. It's easy to find us. And you could also reach out to us by phone. Our number is 609-377-9125. And even though you can look down in the comments and see the number there, our website is also there. It's www.riddlesbrood.com. That's RIDDLESBROOD.com.